I am Martin Luther King Jr. standing now in front of the Lincoln Memorial. The solemn and historical aura seeps into my very being. The steps beneath my feet have witnessed countless hopes and struggles. I am a civil rights leader, a preacher who has dedicated my life to the pursuit of equality and justice. As I look around this iconic place, memories of my famous "I Have a Dream" speech flood back. That speech was not just words, it was a clarion call, a manifesto for the African American community in the long-standing fight against racial segregation and discrimination. In the era I lived in, the United States was deeply entrenched in the Jim Crow laws. These laws institutionalized racial segregation, creating a system of apartheid in the South. African Americans were denied basic rights, from voting to using public facilities. The Plessy v. Ferguson decision in 1896, which established the separate but equal doctrine, was a legal fig leaf for blatant racial injustice. I remember the Montgomery bus boycott clearly. It was a turning point, a spark that ignited the civil rights movement. Rosa Parks' simple act of defiance, refusing to give up her seat on the bus, was an embodiment of the long pent-up frustration and the yearning for dignity. This non-violent protest, based on the principles of civil disobedience, inspired a nation. We believed that through non-violent resistance, we could break the chains of oppression. When I stood here on this very spot, delivering my "I Have a Dream" speech, I envisioned a future where the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners could sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I dreamt of a nation where children would not be judged by the color of their skin but by the content of their character. It was a utopia, a vision that seemed far-fetched at the time, but it was a dream that gave hope to millions. Now, looking back at the impact of that speech and the movement, I'm filled with a mix of emotions. On one hand, I am heartened to see some progress. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 were significant milestones, breaking down some of the legal barriers that had oppressed African Americans for so long. These legislative achievements were the result of years of struggle, sacrifice, and collective action. However, the road to true equality is far from over. Racial tensions still simmer beneath the surface. Systemic racism persists in various forms, from discriminatory policing to economic disparities. The dream that I had, that once seemed so close, now feels like it is being tested by the harsh realities of a changing world. The Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of freedom and unity, stands as a silent witness to both the progress and the unfinished business. The inscriptions on its walls, the words of Abraham Lincoln, remind us of the ideals that this nation was founded upon. But we are still a long way from fully realizing those ideals. As I stand here, the wind whispers through the columns, carrying with it the echoes of the past and the hopes of the future. The fight for equality is a never-ending battle, a struggle that must be carried on by each new generation. My spirit is both buoyed by the progress made and weighed down by the work that remains. I turn, looking out over the reflecting pool, and I know that the dream must live on. The dream of a nation free from racial prejudice, a dream that is the very essence of the American promise, must not die. It is a dream that will continue to inspire, to guide, and to challenge us until the day when true equality is finally achieved.